do this.
Hell, of course you don't. It's okay. Hi, everyone. Welcome to A Jewish Boy Calls His Mother. This is me, Sadia, and this is my mom. Hey, Emma.
Hello.
All right, so we are going to continue our conversation previously on the preview. We talked about Jewish angst, how basically people growing up, and you're a nice ripe old age of 39, right? Yeah. Okay. All right. So I figured in the 1950s. It was a roughness with everybody, really. It wasn't, I think everyone was so sick of the World War II and Great Depression. I think, each culture, it affected them differently. But the only culture we really fully know about is, I say, Jewish culture. So that's what we're really going to talk about, because we're talking about what we know. And from the Jewish culture, it was very, very rough around the edges, very, very pitiful, I think. So sein, what was the Yiddish term? So sein,
Well, they used to say, of course, that it's, hard to be a Jew, but that's what I liked about being a Baal Tshuva. That's why I became a Baal Tshuva, was that I was surprised when I was exposed to real Torah Judaism, how fun and fulfilling and positive it can really be, because that was not the impression I was given when I was being raised. And I think the problem with my parents' generation, my parents were not Holocaust survivors, but their parents were pogrom survivors. And my parents were raised, you have to think about it that my parents were born during World War I, in the middle of the Spanish flu epidemic. And obviously...
Oh, wow, like right now.
Yeah, obviously they survived, because we're here. And their parents struggled as very poor immigrants. Then came the Depression. So to put it in the words of my mother, we went from rags to more rags, or to worse rags. And then from the Depression, they were jettisoned into a major world war. So their whole idea, their whole upbringing was survival. From the time they were born, that survival was the name of the game. And they didn't have time for, say, feelings. They didn't have time for any type of sensitivities, because to be overly sensitive, to give in to your feelings, could be very, very devastating in an environment where you have to concentrate just on survival. And actually, your father and I, we were raised in an environment where we really weren't allowed to cry, actually.
Really?
If we cried, when we were children, if we cried about something, our parents would say, crying for nothing? I'll give you something to cry about.
You did that to me also growing up. I had that.
did not.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Growing up, that's exactly what I went through.
What?
Yes.
I did not
You're
do
crying,
that.
I'll give you something good to cry about. Yes, you, Tati, for sure, 100%. You paid it forward. You know what? You did a good job. That's all that matters. You did a great job. Fantastic raising me. I mean, look at me. Fantastic. It's just a.
It's a good thing you're saying that. Should I put the gun down now?
Oh, no. You don't have to. You don't have to. I think with growing up, I think we were allowed to definitely see our emotions. I think I saw Tati cry a lot growing up. I mean, we were under a lot of pressure and whatnot, but I definitely saw my dad express a lot of emotion. And for me, I grew up, I figured it was okay for a guy to cry. It wasn't until my first marriage where I realized that most girls don't like that, and they're like, no shit, turn that shit off. I'm like, oh, all right, fine, tough crowd. But yeah, I think what it is just it's. I think what in my personal opinion, what redeem us as Jewish people is being able to really express our positive emotions. I think everyone's heard us whine. I don't want to hear us whine anymore. I think it's best for us to go ahead and be rejoiceful and be happy and celebrate our lives. Because I think I'm very proud of who I am and proud of where I came from. I think it's also something that's so important is creating a positive environment. I'd be very curious to know what would Tony Robbins say to somebody who went through the Great Depression. How would they tell him to pick up from your feet and arise? I mean, they went through a lot, but I think life is just, you have to go through it. It's not like you can either struggle through it or you can live through it, but either way, you're going through it. And I think that's what I think in the Great Depression. This is just me and my dumbass talking. That they felt they had to live through it, And of course, it was very devastating to many people and everyone's grandparents for sure. And I know it's probably something I shouldn't touch upon, but it's always that one little thing. Like, well, if I'm trying to get through my struggle and I'm struggling through that, then what do I do? How do I look at my past, and what did my people of my past do that kept them alive? And that's the whole point, is that they were just trying to live. They were just trying to survive. And I think we're trying to not just survive, I think we're trying to thrive in our lives. We want to experience more. We want to feel more. We want to see more. Luckily, thanks to the internet, we have that ability. But yeah, that's something I think that we should really maybe think about for a while.